Politics this week does have that pre-election feel about it, with the government having given everyone a tax cut and a $300 energy rebate in Treasurer Jim Chalmers' third budget. And the opposition leader Peter Dutton confirmed in his budget reply speech that he intends to cut immigration and do more for first home buyers if elected. Sky News revealed last Thursday that the opposition wants to cut net overseas migration from 260,000 in 24-25, which the government is projecting, to 160,000. That's on top of what Peter Dutton announced in his budget reply speech of a cut to permanent migration from the government's projected 185,000 to 140,000. This was the opposition leader confirming his intention to make a large cut to the net migration program, which measures the number of people entering the country versus those exiting, on Melbourne Radio on Friday.
If you have a look at the government's budget figures, it's about just over 500,000 this year in terms of the net overseas migration. They claim it ramps down. Now, each of their projections have been wrong, but by year three, it's down to about 260,000. We say against that figure, it should be about 160,000.
Mr Dutton also announced plans to stop foreign investors buying homes. The government says this is only about 5,000 homes a year, or about 1% of the market. And the opposition re-announced its policy to allow first homeowners access to their superannuation for a housing deposit to be paid back into their super later in life. This will be controversial. It polls around 50-50 apparently in party polling, this proposal. But significantly, just as we saw with the government looking to wipe student debt in the budget, this policy signifies there's big competition here for the under 35 vote from both major parties. When it comes to the housing announcements in Mr Dutton's budget reply speech, I'm told this is just the tip of the iceberg, and there'll be major housing policies the coalition will be unveiling just before the election. The government, meanwhile, has taken a risk in this budget with this inflation prediction of 2.75% by the end of the year. That's out of kilter with the Reserve Bank's forecasts and suggests there could be an interest rate cut then. The PM was bemused to see economists one day, a couple of weeks ago, point to possible rate hikes this year. And after an unemployment figure of 4.1% was released on Thursday, the same economists, or some of them, were talking up a rate cut by the end of the year. An early election possibility is open and would mean the Treasurer doesn't have to own a possible wrong inflation prediction. But officially, at least, the government's saying it's going full term, and that would be an election in May next year. The government's also pushing away criticism its budget is inflationary by pointing out it has produced 2 surpluses and the previous government didn't manage one in 9 years. The government also finished up the parliamentary week with a victory in the Senate, with the Greens and Independent Tammy Tyrrell passing the more than $2 billion in PRRT tax changes, plus the government's electrical vehicle legislation setting national fuel standards. It's what the opposition has dubbed a ute tax.